Hey guys, it's Brandon Miniman from Pocketnow.com. The iPad mini and iPad 4 are here, and in this video, we're going to unbox them both and give you some first impressions. Let's get to it. And so we're going to start with the less exciting of the two, the iPad 4, although it is kind of exciting because it's faster. And the iPad 3, with all of those pixels, is laggy at times. When opening apps, sometimes it stutters. It's not as smooth performance-wise as it should be. So it's nice that Apple finally put the A6 chip in there. Of course, we also get the Lightning connector. Again, this is a minor refresh, and a lot of people were actually pretty upset that Apple released a 4th generation iPad in the middle of the year. But hey, let's see what we have. So this is the Wi-Fi 16 gigabyte version. We're going to have a speed comparison up very soon. I am so curious to see how much faster this is than the iPad 3. And let's just take a quick look at the hardware. Another thing that people really aren't talking about is that the iPad 4 should have slightly better battery life than the iPad 3 because it's got the A6 chip, which uses a smaller manufacturing process and thus requires less power to run. So that's something I'm looking forward to. The battery life on the iPad 3 is pretty good, but it always could be better. So let's open this up here, and we get an iPad. Of course, it's going to look the same, except, of course, that it has a Lightning connector on the bottom, and it looks like that. Wow, ooh, wee. Well, let's just bring the iPad 3 over here, and yeah, you know, it's a Lightning connector. What else do you want to say? Again, the big story here with the iPad 4 is the speed, and we're going to come back shortly in a video. Keep an eye on the Pocketnow YouTube channel. We're going to have a comparison video and see how much faster it is. Now let's get to the main event here, the iPad mini. Okay, let's get to the main event. Now, a problem that has plagued the iPad since the beginning is that it's just been too thick and too heavy. It's not really conducive to reading for long periods of time because it just fatigues your hands. The Nexus 7 came around, it was thin and light, and you could really hold it like a book for a long period of time. Just an awesome experience. And now we've got an iPad that has those same merits by being thin and light, but unfortunately Apple put a low-res screen on this, lower than the Nexus 7. Does that matter? Well, we're going to talk about that in the coming days. So this is the black version. I got the black version instead of the white version. I always go with white, but this time I went with black because apparently it looks pretty awesome with that beveled edge. So let's slice this open. I am extraordinarily curious to feel this thing in my hands and see what it's like to actually have a thin and light iPad. Who would have thought that we'd ever get there? The next iPad mini is the one to get, I should mention, because it's going to have a Retina Display, you know it, and it's going to have an A6 chip. So this is the first gen iPad mini, but nevertheless very exciting. So here it is, and wow, it's lighter than I thought it was going to be, and it's thinner than I thought it would be. I kind of have the urge to just try to break it in half. I don't know why. It just kind of feels like this long, kind of skinny wafer. And this is, again, the black, obviously. I don't have to tell you that. This thing is interesting. I don't even know what to think about this because I've never seen anything like it, obviously. Okay, interesting. So this black edge is kind of a dark finish. It's not metallic. It's kind of like the iPhone 5 in black. I like the cool metal to the touch. Of course, the iPad 3 and iPad 4 are also cool to the touch, but this is just completely flat. So it's got a nice feel there. We've got stereo speakers on the bottom with the Lightning connector. And I'm really curious to see how the fingerprint detection system works. So apparently you can hold it like this, keep your thumb on the screen, and still use it. I can't wait to see what that is like. And I also ordered a smart cover here in this cyan blue. Kind of reminds me of the Lumia 920 and Lumia 900, doesn't it? So very nice. Looks really good, by the way, with the blue and the black. It's a really good color combination. Thought that might work pretty well. And let's see what it's like to roll it up and... All right, very cool. Anyway, so I'm going to turn this on. I'm going to load some data on here, use it for a bit, come back with some first impressions, just to wrap up this video. Okay, and some first impressions for the iPad mini. This display is burning my eyes. No, if you are going from an iPad with a Retina display, you're going to notice a tremendous difference. I mean, this, you got an annoying reflection there. This looks like the iPad 2 screen because it basically is just shrunken down a little bit. You will absolutely see pixels in everything that you do, in every screen that you're in. It's potentially not a deal breaker, because you're dealing with it's a trade-off for having such a thin and light tablet. And if you hold it away from your face enough, you don't see pixels as much. But yeah, they're there. Besides that, the screen quality is fantastic, as we expect on Apple screens. Very good color saturation. Everything looks good. And I can't tell you how fun it is to be able to finally do really good portrait typing, or easy portrait typing, in portrait here. So that's good for emailing, and if you do a lot of text input, it's kind of like using an iPhone just with a bigger keyboard. Whereas on the iPad 3 and the iPad 4 and the iPad 2 and iPad 1, anything with a bigger screen like that, you're really stretching your fingers to be able to do portrait typing. Other than that, it is thin, it is light, it's going to take some time to get used to, and I was really curious to see how this finger rejection works. And watch this. Works just like advertised, right? You put your finger on the screen and it ignores your input. You do it on the left, you do it on the right. It works perfectly well. So we'll be back with a lot more. We're going to compare this with the Nexus 7 Next, kind of one of its closest competitors. Again, I really like this black and this cyan. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up and let us know what you think about the iPad mini. You're going to get one. Leave a comment. That's it for now.